Welcome, everyone, to this week's new episode of Project Tech Gaming. I'm your host, Rob Garcia, and I'm joined by co-host Kelvin Rollon. How you doing today?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Pretty good. Anything new with you, man? Anything new and exciting?
No, not really. No, just it's a beautiful day out, so we kind of want to enjoy it as much as we can. We just got out of work, so we're just trying to, do what we got to do now, and then hopefully enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't you record a dash cam video this past weekend, or did you posted one, right?
Yes, dash cam video is up. Guys, check it out if you're interested in looking for a dash cam. Take a look at it, like, subscribe, and yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. After looking at that video, I'm considering getting a dash cam. I think the part where you said about, if God forbid you get into an accident, the insurance part, of it is like, wait, I have a video.
You have a video. So everything's captured, so you don't have to worry. That's another stressor that is kind of out of the. You don't have to worry about it as much. So, yeah, it's definitely helpful. It's helped me. Actually, I didn't tell you this. Lyris, she witnessed an accident in front of her.
Oh wow!
And she got it on her dash cam, and so we saw it wasn't anything major, but it was it was still something, but. It was again, it's one of those things that like you don't know when it's going to happen. It could be you, it could be the person in front of you. Mm-hmm. And so she got it recorded.
Wow. All right, guys, well, go ahead and check out the video and buy that dash cam, because like I said, it could save you a lot of money and insurance claims and stuff. So
for sure.
But moving on, we have some interesting topics for today. Topic 1, Microsoft is in talks of purchasing Discord.
Ooh.
Topic 2, goodbye Xbox Live. Hello, Xbox Live Network. Topic 3, Nintendo to use new NVIDIA chip for Switch upgrade. Topic 4, Xbox Series S is now a real threat to the PS5. It's a question mark after that one. Is it? Topic 5 is Sony acquires Evo. And topic 6 is the Ghost of Tsushima movies in works. All right.
Cool.
But before we start talking about those topics, Kelvin, what is the game of the week?
So game of the week is something we're pretty familiar with, I would say. Gears 5, of course, right? We've been playing the Gears series as a whole for quite some time now. And yeah, I thought, sorry, my voice is kind of off today. I kind of wanted to do something a little different with Game of the Week. We never tried anything like online, right, in that sense. So I was like, you know what, why don't I just play a few matches of Gears? I'm familiar with it. I kind of know the routine. And it's something different. It's not like I'm not playing the same thing over and over. It's, I'm playing online. So every match is different. So I tried it out and it was good. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed what I did. I only played about 20, 25 minutes or so. But it was fun. I had a good time. So this is developed by the Coalition. Okay. Came out in 2019. And it's a third-person action shooter. And you're basically shooting aliens. Like you're basically shooting these aliens that come from... They at one point
they're not aliens, they're like underground beast more so, right? Like sure, locusts. Yeah. I would call them locusts. Yeah,
I mean that's the name, they're locusts, but they're like an alien form of some sort. But yeah, so I didn't do any of the story. I just played a couple matches online, and it's fun. Like you just can't. You want to go back to it every time, right? Like me and you talk about going online and just playing, having a few matches every single time. We're like, hey, let's play some Gears here and there, just because. It's satisfying to execute your enemies, and that sniper shot when you get it, it's just so satisfying.
It's that game's headshots are absolutely out of this world.
Yeah, like it's probably the
insane.
Best. It's the best there is at this point, and I just have a good time. Like the game has definitely improved from Gears 1 to where it is now, right? I mean, it's had five games to kind of like build in its format. And I think that when it comes to story, I think it's improved. But when it comes to the online multiplayer, like I think they've done a fantastic job of the cover system. Like I think Gears was one of the main games that kind of built that cover shooter genre. And till this day, a lot of games kind of not copy it, but they kind of have a lot of influence based off of Gears, the Gears series. So you have your cover system, you have your shooting mechanics, you have your fast paced, action packed, teamwork based gameplay, and you have this like cohesive, like amazing game.
It's my number one favorite shooter. I've played that since I want to say 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, we were young when we started playing that game, yeah.
And it's just, I always come back to it. I could take a year off, but I always get drawn back into Gears 5. It's because it's just that teamwork that, like there's one thing that I love about the Gears series, and it's just, again, the way you get the kills. They're just gorgeous. Like just the mayhem and the gore, and it looks great. And also I like kind of knowing where all my teams, like you really do have to work as a team to win that in that game.
Yeah, that's what I love about this game, because I mean, was it fun playing? Sure, but I wasn't playing with teams, so you still don't have that sense of like urgency to win, because you're not really working as a team. But when you're playing with me, or when I'm playing with Caleb, like that sense of like urgency of like, all right, we can definitely win this. We just have to like work together, and you have to be my eyes, I have to be your eyes, and it just works out, and it's fun. You enjoy that sense of like communication throughout the whole entire match.
And a perfect example yesterday when we were playing last night, right, is we were getting stomped on the one round, right? We're getting just one guy ended up leaving, like completely. We're like, screw this.
And he was
and
good
you're like,
too.
You know
he
what?
Was good too. We lost a good.
Yeah. And we just took a step back, and we're like, you know what? No, we're better than these guys. We can do it. And what happened? We
got the W.
We got the W. Just 3 people against 4.
A few things though. I mean, it's a great game, obviously, right? But there's a few letdowns that I kind of want to breeze through a little bit. I think that some of the things that made Gears 4 really, really good didn't really kind of it kind of didn't communicate well when it comes to the Gears 5. I think when it comes to the executions, they're great, but they're not as fleshed out as I would want them to be. I feel like they're just kind of like, some of them are tacked on. You can kind of purchase them now at like the shop.
Yeah, like when before you couldn't even like, it was very bare, but now you can buy them. You shouldn't have to buy your executions. Like, that's stupid.
That's weird. And I think that some of them are just kind of not cheesy. I think a lot of the cheesiness as well comes from like the little gestures that they do in the game that I don't like.
It's weird. It doesn't look natural. It
doesn't look natural.
Very strange.
The animations look weird. There's a lot that are kind of bringing like the scale down a little bit when it comes to this game, but at the same time, overall, the game, like the gameplay itself, it's phenomenal. It's fun. It's just Gears. It's Gears, and if you love Gears before, you're definitely gonna love Gears now. It's just fun, and you have a good time playing with it, especially with friends. There's just a few drawbacks that I wish they kind of like fixed a little bit, or they kind of tweaked a little bit more. Again, when it comes to like the customizations, again, the skins back then, Gears 4, the skins were like a big thing, right? But now it's not. Now I feel like Gears 5 doesn't really do much with the skins, so I don't really care for them. But before, they were a huge thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like even if they made it more like Fortnite-y, you know what I mean? Where exactly. They like every week there's like a new exclusive skin you can only get this week. Yep. Another thing I want to brush up on real quick, we're going to end the game of the week segment here, but is the matchmaking. I feel like the matchmaking is not great.
The matchmaking is horrendous. One, they do a poor job of just syncing you up with a match or having you with your teammates, because, and God forbid you like leave the match. God forbid like
accident.
Your internet.
If you leave by
God
accident.
forbid your internet just like freaks out and then like you just leave by accident. The penalty that you have there is insane. Like they do like a couple, like you have to play like 3 matches or so just
it's like
to like
15
get you back
minutes
into
and then you have to play like 2 regular matches and I'm like, dude, I left at like, I tried leaving the game, like getting out of the matchmaking so I could like leave and do stuff, but now I'm like penalized. Yeah, it's really bad. So
hang on. Yeah, so it's one of those games where you just can't you can't like leave. Otherwise, it's just gonna like you're gonna get screwed over.
You have to. Yeah, exactly. That's probably my least favorite thing about the game is the matchmaking.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Okay, where can I get this game?
Well, you get it on Xbox and on PC. Of course, it's free for you guys if you have Game Pass. So definitely check that out. And yeah, it's a ball. It's a fun time. You'll have a great. Now the learning curve is a little steep. You do have to realize that, like, if you're just going in there like first day, it's gonna be tough.
Oh,
like,
you're gonna
have to learn a lot. But once you get the hang of it, yeah, for sure, you'll have a great time. So yeah, thumbs up.
How do you feel about in the description below this video, Kelv? How do you feel about us leaving our gamer tags in case anyone wants to play Gears of Us?
That'd be great. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and leave them down there, and then just add us, and we'll do some games.
If you want to check a couple more matches that I did for Game of the Week, we'll leave the link down in the description below as well.
All right, and lastly, is it thumbs down or thumbs
up, man? Yeah, for sure.
Thumbs up. All right.
Like we've grown through that game since we were like 15, 16. So yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, moving on. Topic 1: Microsoft in talks of purchasing Discord. Microsoft is in discussions with Discord to acquire the gaming-focused chat software for more than $10 billion, according to sources talking to Bloomberg. Xbox chief Phil Spencer is said to be talking to Discord about the potential deal. This is from The Verge. Now, this is big news, Kelv, obviously.
Huge.
Is this good for Discord?
For Discord, I think so, because Discord has like a couple. I mean, I'm sure they have. I think they're worth like a couple billion as well. But if you add what Microsoft is trying to give them, and on top of that, it's a free service. That it's a huge service at that. But I think they'll benefit from this regardless. They're going to be making a chunk of money, and they'll have Microsoft's kind of like they'll have Microsoft backing them up pretty much for this too. So anything that they need, they can. I mean, Microsoft has a shit ton of money, so they're okay with that. You know what I mean? I think it's a great deal for Discord. What about you?
I mean, I'm just afraid of how Microsoft is going to treat Discord. In the past, Microsoft has purchased things, and it doesn't really like take care of them. Like, for example, Skype. When they purchased Skype, who do you know uses Skype now? Nobody. But Skype was the big thing to use like back in the day. But then as soon as Microsoft purchased them, nobody uses Skype. So it's like, even during the pandemic, like where video conferencing is like a big thing, and like, everyone's video chatting each other, Skype still wasn't like the one thing to use. Everyone was on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
So
I think this is a little different because they're definitely focused on Xbox. Like Microsoft is throwing all their cards on Xbox right now, and with them acquiring Bethesda, with them just kind of putting all they have pretty much on Microsoft and on Game Pass, I can see them definitely improving Discord and just kind of keeping it afloat, because they want to keep that system tied with the gamers, and they have no other choice but to kind of like keep improving it, because that's what everyone uses nowadays, especially now during the pandemic. Everyone's shifted towards Discord, not just gamer related, but like work related, and it's a huge acquisition if they do.
Yeah, you're actually right. Like, I actually know a few people that use Discord for work, which is like, it's pretty funny.
It's not just a gaming chat software that they use anymore. Everyone's using it now, and they would be wise to continue improving it and shelling out money just to kind of make everyone happy, and just to kind of keep it going, because it's one of those things that I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. Like, I wish Sony would add Discord onto their PlayStation Network, because I think that would be great. I wish I can just, instead of using their chat system, I can just use Discord. And this is literally what I wanted them to do, and Microsoft is just jumping the gun on it. So good on them.
So this tells me, though, if this goes through, obviously Discord will probably never be on Sony, on PlayStation.
Well, yes and no. I think Microsoft, similar to like Minecraft, right? Microsoft can definitely allow Sony to use Discord, but maybe not have it on. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to figure out how that would work. But I feel like Microsoft would definitely try to reap the benefits, and have Sony use it, but at the same time still benefit from their service as well.
Yeah,
I'm trying to wonder how that would work.
Yeah, I just don't see it as likely happening after Microsoft obtains it. But like you said, with the whole Minecraft thing, maybe.
I mean, they've done it before, right? Like Microsoft is known for kind of like giving their IPs and stuff like that. Nintendo, for example, right? Ori and the Wisp was also on Switch.
Yeah, but that's like IPs though, right? It's not like an actual
actual service, right? Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, it might not turn out anything, but I think they can find a way to have Sony use the service, but also have Microsoft benefit from it.
We'll have to see. Actually, Epic Games and Amazon have also held discussions in the past of acquiring Discord. Obviously, that never fell through. So,
right. Yeah, it's a big catch, and I think Microsoft has the money to do it, and they have the service to do it. They have the service to provide it. Like, wouldn't it be fantastic to see Discord on like, I mean, we can use it on our PCs, but like if you had an Xbox and you can just like click on the Discord service app and then just talk to your friends and don't have to worry about, any weird disconnections with like, Xbox's version of chatting. Like there's a lot of benefits to it.
I only see this being good for Xbox because the chat system, at least on PC for it, is trash. It's horrendous.
It's terrible, yeah.
So this is only going to be beneficial to Xbox. If this is going to be their main way of connecting gamers to each other is using Discord, then I don't see how they're going to mess it up like they did with Skype. So
yeah, I can't see that either.
But yeah, we'll just have to keep monitoring it and see what happens with Discord. All right, moving on. Topic 2. Still some Xbox news. Goodbye, Xbox Live. Hello, Xbox Network. Many Xbox users notice a small change on the Xbox dashboard. What was this change, Kelv?
I don't know. Is it the name?
While uploading a screenshot to Xbox Live, some players notice a reference to Xbox Network, where Xbox Live used to be. So, just a little tidbits here. Xbox Network.
Sorry, go ahead.
What?
No.
Xbox Network refers to the underlying Xbox Online service, which was updated in the Microsoft Services Agreement. A Microsoft spokesperson told The Verge, the update from Xbox Live to Xbox Network is intended to distinguish the underlying service from Xbox Live Gold memberships. So it's a bunch of legal crap. That's what it sounds
Basically,
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Xbox Live first launched in 2002, allowed players to play Xbox games online for free. And how do we feel about this?
Honestly, like, all right, cool. Like, you guys changed your name. Like, nothing really is happening because of this. It's just a name change, and the name kind of sucks. I don't know. Like, I feel like this news isn't like huge. Isn't anything crazy to kind of like.
Yeah, it's just kind of like weird though that they're changing, because PlayStation is called the PlayStation Network, right?
Yeah.
So like Xbox is like, you know what?
I like that. It has a nice ring to it. Xbox Network, fuck it.
Yeah, because like I feel like back in the past, like Xbox Live, like you're live, whereas like now people are just like, well, everyone's live.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they did the change. They were just like kind of grew out of that name.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Network has it holds stronger to Xbox because they have this like, this growing landscape of people that they have, again, Game Pass, they have their Xbox consoles, and they're kind of trying to do this ecosystem where everyone has they're all in one network, right?
That's exactly what they're trying to do, right?
I think that's That's what they're
bundle
trying to do.
everything into a little neat package. Like you get to chat with all your friends, you get to play online with your games or with your friends, and you get to play Game Pass. That's what they want you to do. They want you to have the whole bundle, not just little pieces here. And like we don't want you to do Xbox Live and Game Pass separately. We want you to do both together.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
Or one or the other. So.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, not crazy news as far as like changing the landscape or anything like that, but hey, it's cool. Good on them.
I mean, rest in peace, Xbox Live.
I was never an Xbox guy from that era, so it doesn't really do much for me. But
I will say, when Xbox and Xbox One and PlayStation 2, when Xbox first like released Live, it was like leagues ahead of what Sony was doing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Even up to 360, 360 and PS3, like the Xbox
their infrastructure
network
was like way better. It was miles ahead of Sony.
Yeah, it wasn't, I think, until like the PS4 where Sony was like, okay.
Recently, yeah. PS3 was kind of bare bones, right? When it first came out, it was free, which kind of told you everything there. But they slowly started adding stuff to it. But by that time, everyone kind of, it would already moved on to Xbox 360, and their infrastructure was way better. And I think this year, this generation and last generation were the big jumps, with Sony kind of making a huge leap with online and, kind of keeping everything the way, like, cohesive with their infrastructure and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but their online started getting a lot better when people started paying for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's when it started getting better, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I was glad. I was fine. I'm like, yeah, I'll pay for it if you're gonna make this better. Like, if you played PlayStation 3 back then, it would online. It was bad. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And then we don't talk about Nintendo because they just, for whatever reason, they don't care about.
Yeah, they're a different beast. I don't know.
Yeah, they're worried about different things. They can't be concerned with that. Speaking of Nintendo, topic 3: Nintendo to use new nvidia chip for the Switch upgrade. Now, this is not 100%. Accurate, because it's a rumor right now. Mm-hmm. So we don't know exactly if this is actually a thing, but based on sources, says it is. Nintendo's new Switch may use a NVIDIA GPU that supports deep learning super sampling, DLSS. That's what DLSS stands for, huh? Yeah. Didn't know it meant deep learning super sampling. That will allow it to output higher quality graphics, Bloomberg has reported. The new system on chip would be able to output at up to 4K quality when the Switch is connected to a TV, and will reportedly include a upgraded CPU and increased memory. That is from Engadget.
Exciting.
So, that is, again, rumors, but based on all these sources, I think it's going to be probably true.
I think it's legit. Yeah, I think it's definitely happening. This is all great news to me because, one, I don't think the Switch is kind of behind in any way at all. Obviously, it's doing very well for Nintendo right now. But I do think that because we jumped over to the next generation with PS5 and Xbox right now, Nintendo the Switch doesn't seem as new anymore, right? It starts showing its age, right?
Yeah,
and
100%, especially graphically. Like that's
correct. Yeah, and then with the 720p OLED display with the 4K output, and the price point of $350, $400 might be a little steep, but I think it'll do well. Like the improved GPU, like all of that sounds great to me because I know Nintendo isn't all about graphics and powerhousing their consoles, but this would just make everything more easier to navigate. Like even what's it called, Animal Crossing, right? We had a hard time playing that game because just trying to play within each other was just terrible, right? It was a nuisance because you had to wait for the online and it just took forever just to get into each other's islands. This would probably alleviate all of that. And I think those are the little like bells and whistles. Those are the little nuances that I think would benefit from the Switch, because Nintendo's Nintendo. They're not going to like have like 4K graphics and like, 3D textures and all that crap, right? Mario's going to look like Mario, but just a little bit better, right?
It's more about the frames. I think it's
more about
mostly
the
what
frames.
it is.
Yeah,
it's
and it's
more about the frames and running.
the ease of use, like again, the online infrastructure, just easier to navigate, things like that.
Do you think when we saw that Pokemon trailer for the new game, right, how we saw like the frame rate dropping, do you think that was like they were running that on a Nintendo Switch and they were like, it was showing the limitations of the system? Do you think that's a possibility?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were running that on a DS or something like that. That shit was
yeah, it was really bad. It was super bad.
I just think that game isn't ready at all. I think it's in alpha phase, so I don't think it had anything to do with the Switch itself. I think once it's done, once it's released, it will come out. It'll come out pretty well. But it's just gonna run even better with the new Switch. So
yeah,
I think
I'm excited
this is true.
for it. I'm excited. I'm ready for one. Obviously, like to have like a beefier Nintendo system. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Just some tidbits here. The next gen Switch is set to have a built-in 720 OLED display and a 4K output. The release of the upgraded Switch is reportedly planned for the 2021 holiday season. So this fall it's going to come out.
Again,
which I'm like,
that's great. It makes sense if they're trying to release it with the Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, but Breath of the Wild 2, I think, is
they said this year. They said this year, but
yeah.
Who knows?
And again, like you said, it could be $350 to $400 over its current price at $300. So that's a little bit of point of contention. Hot take for you. With the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they call this thing, I'm thinking they're going to call it like a Switch Pro. I don't think they're going to call it Switch 2, right?
No.
I don't think it's going to be, it's just going to be an upgraded version of Switch. So that leads me to believe it's going to be some along the lines of Pro, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to be called? Do you think it's going to be called Pro as well?
No, I don't think that's Nintendo's suit there. I just don't think I don't know. What would they?
Do you think they're going to do it some kind of catchy name?
A catchy name for sure. Definitely not Switch Pro though. I don't know, man.
Do you think they're going to call it the Switch Heavy because I have the Switch Lite?
Oh my god! Don't do that.
I'm just kidding.
That would be like a Microsoft thing. Microsoft has a terrible taste in names.
Oh yeah, 100%. So here's my thing that I'm kind of concerned about the way they're doing this. Right? Is they're having this. I'm going to call it the Switch Pro because that's just like the easiest thing to call it right now.
Yeah.
The Switch Pro, and they're also going to have the Switch Lite, right? Is that what it's called? It's called Switch Lite, right? The one that doesn't have, you can take off the controller, right?
The Nintendo Switch Lite, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then they have the regular Switch. Obviously, I feel like they're eventually going to be phasing out the regular Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
In lieu of the Nintendo Switch Lite and the Pro. There's going to be a pretty big difference in quality between both consoles because the Switch Lite is more meant to be like a portable system. It's like a DS replacer is for me, like a 3DS replacer is what it was.
Yeah, I think
so.
Go ahead. Sorry,
I was gonna say so playing Breath of the Wild 2 on Switch Pro versus playing it on Switch Lite is gonna be a completely different experience. I feel like.
I don't know if it's going to be a completely different experience, but you're definitely going to see the difference. Think of it right now with the PS4 and PS5, right? You can play older gen games with them, but you're obviously going to get the better experience on PS5. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen with the old Switch. When you play Breath of the Wild 2, you'll be able to play on the regular Switch, right? But your better experience might be on the Switch Pro because it'll have, better graphic fidelity, better frame rates, and things like that. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference, but you'll definitely see the difference.
Well, I'm more talking about future, right? Like I'm talking like 2-3 years down the road.
Okay,
it's like now games are going to be playing at, unless they just optimize them better, but I just feel like it's a big disparity of like.
By then, I think they'll phase the first one out for sure. Like they'll start phasing that out, and we'll have an announcement at one point saying that they're not going to be making any more regular Switches, and the Switch Pro will now become your main Switch. Or if you want to opt for a less expensive version, the Switch Lite would be your main go-to.
Yeah, I mean, one thing they better fix when this thing comes out is the freaking joysticks. I swear, if they
That's
do
my
that
main
drifting,
reason, honestly, to switch over to a new Switch, because
you could just buy a control. You could just buy a new controller.
I could,
You
but
could-
why
you
would
could,
I?
you know.
It's $80. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money for
Yeah.
a fucking left-sided controller. Like, I mean, I know
Well,
you get
it's
both.
for it's for both.
You
Yeah,
get
yeah,
both,
exactly.
but my main issue is the left one. You know what I mean?
What's gonna happen? What would you do if it like happens like a couple months after you buy the new one? Like you lose it.
I'm gonna lose
You
it.
know?
But Nintendo they've heard this loud and clear. I'm sure this is gonna be resolved. I mean, again, who knows? But this has to be somewhat resolved at least when the Switch Pro comes out.
And one last thing about the Switch Pro, would you mind if it's bulkier? Do you care if it's bulkier? Would you still like take it with you places?
Yeah, it's fine. I think the length of the Switch is a little big. It's like a little long, but I think it's fine. Now, if they make it like bulkier, a little bit fatter, I think it probably fit a little bit nicer in my hands, to be honest.
Okay, like maybe
I don't mind
little
it.
heft
Yeah,
where like
because I don't travel with it that much, and I'm not putting it in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like, if I do travel with it, if I take it to your house, for example,
who's
like
putting it in their pockets? Who's
I've
putting
seen it
Switches on?
done. I've seen it fucking done. Trust me. They put it. They take off the joysticks. They put the actual screen in their pocket, and then they have the Joy-Cons in their other pocket. It's fucking weird. I don't know.
Yeah, no, thank you. I like my Switch very much.
So yeah, so I mean, I usually would take mine, in a book bag. So yeah, it's fine. I'm down for that.
Well, enough about the Nintendo Switch. We're going to move on back to Xbox. Topic 4. Xbox Series S is now a real threat to the PS5. This is an opinion piece from Tech Radar. Just going to read a little bit about this here. The Xbox Series S can run the graphically intense lighting and reflection technology known as ray tracing. It's able to output games at 120 frames per second, and it offers blazing fast load times thanks to its 512 gigabyte internal SSD drive. You can purchase and play all the latest blockbuster titles on it, such as Call of Duty, Black Ops, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and even true next-gen Xbox exclusives like the Medium. Okay? So first thing we're going to do is the PS5 Digital Edition is $100 more than the Xbox S.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you buy this?
You're saying, why would I buy the PS5 digital version?
Why would you buy the Xbox over the PS5?
So
that's what I want to ask you, because you're a Sony guy.
Yeah.
Right?
I think if you're looking for an inexpensive console that still does what it needs to do, because a lot of people think, like, I'm trying to think of like just like the average Joe, and I think they don't necessarily care about graphics or frame rates or what features this console has over the other. As long as it plays games and it runs them well, I think majority of the consumers are perfectly fine with it. So when you have your Xbox Series S that is $100 cheaper, it plays Xbox games, it plays Xbox games in general, right? And you're still getting that graphics, like that fidelity and graphics. I think that's just enough for consumers nowadays. Now if you're talking about us, or if you're talking about people that are kind of more into the gaming industry and the graphics and the frame rates and all that stuff, obviously the Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 is more enticing to us because it has those features that we want. But when you're just kind of shopping with your mom and you just want the next biggest thing, and you're okay with having you still have a 720p screen monitor or something like that, I think the Xbox Series S is just fine. That's what it is. It's just fine for those consumers.
Here's the thing about it, which is kind of crazy to me, right? It's 1440p,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which, there's not a lot of 1440p TVs. I mean, it's more, right. I think 4K is kind of like overtaking a lot of the TVs at the house. But it's more of like that price point is really, really nice. And if if there wasn't Game Pass, I would say pass on this. Pass on
For
this
sure.
thing.
Yeah, that
But the
changes a lot.
fact that this thing has Game Pass that you can just, it is a $300 box out the door, and you can play any game you want on Game Pass. Obviously, you have to pay for Game Pass.
Keep in mind, it's only a 512 gigabyte internal SSD drive. That's not a lot nowadays, for sure. You're not getting a lot.
That's the biggest issue, is that you're going to fill that up very quickly.
Yeah.
You download Call of Duty, Warzone,
You're done.
You're done. You can't play anything else. You could play,
Again, and this is why, I mean, I think it's a poor choice on Microsoft's part for adding such a small SSD drive. But if this is the consumers that they want, right, then it's fine for now. I mean, they can always upgrade it, right? They have the options to do that. You would have to pay a little bit more, over $200 more.
Okay, but then now I pay for another, some more memory.
Yep.
And now I'm at the price of the digital edition of the PS5.
But because you're average Joe, you didn't know that at the time. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh, wait, that's weird. Like, why is my console saying that I can't play anymore? We only have 512 gigabytes. Like, oh, okay, well, I'll just upgrade it. Fine. Oh, it's $200. Like, what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds shady, but that's kind of, I think, where Microsoft's head was in that kind of landscape, right? Where like they grab those consumers now, and they can hopefully potentially get them to upgrade to the SSD drive that they have, and hopefully spend more money. Like, those are the kind of things that I think they're thinking about.
Do you know that this thing is like selling out everywhere, right? It's just as hard to get as the Xbox Series X and the PS5.
Really?
Like,
I don't really hear anybody talk about it.
Yeah, because it's, like I said, it's like low key. I think it's just like any parent, anyone that's like, their kids want the newest console.
Right.
They're like, I can't get the Xbox X, I can't get the PS5. Let me just get them this for now.
Yep.
You know, because it's the new thing, right? It's one of the newer things. So I'm mixed about this console. Do I think it's a threat to the PS5? Yes and no. I think that it's getting the consumers, like it's taking some of the consumers from Sony, because it's like, look, it's only $300 and you get all these freaking games on Game Pass for only like $15 a month. Why not? Your kid's going to be happy, or you're going to be happy, because you don't have to shell out a lot more money for the PS5. So I think that is why it's a threat. And again, Sony needs to pump out those PS5s more, at least the digital ones, because that's how people get the entry into the door for PS5.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's weird because I see it so different. Obviously, I'm sure you do too. But like, for $100 more, and you get a PS5 digital version, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer for us. But I don't know. This is definitely for them in the market for somebody. You know what I mean? And from what you're saying, it's a market
for a lot of people.
From what you're saying, it's selling like hotcakes. So yeah, it's definitely doing what it needs to do.
So again, those three points we're going to hit again is the rise of Game Pass. This is what's making this thing an insane deal.
Yeah.
The value, obviously, $300 for a brand new console. That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
And the fact that Microsoft just acquired Bethesda.
It's again,
you could play Skyrim. You could play all the games like in your living room if you wanted to.
Right.
So again, is this a threat? I would say yes and no.
Sony has a lot of catching up to do at this point, and obviously they're doing well. They're doing fine right now when it comes to selling PS5s. Everyone has kind of like that mentality of like, oh, I want to get a PS5, like that. That mentality that I was talking to you about a couple episodes ago, where like you have TikTok talking about like, oh, my boyfriend's gonna, I'm gonna buy my boyfriend a PS5. Like, everyone kind of is in that landscape right now. But Microsoft is prepping. They're putting the groundwork for what's to come in the future. You know what I mean? And they're doing a great job. Like right now, they're probably just low key. They're doing their thing. They're letting Sony.
They're trying to acquire Discord. All this kind of stuff.
They're letting Sony get all like the spotlight right now. But Microsoft is making big boy deals in the background.
You're gonna blink and everyone has an Xbox in their house instead of a PS5, because Sony's like, oh shit, like
So Sony is, like I said in previous episodes, they need to be sitting down right now in a conference call and throwing out ideas of what they need to do. Because PlayStation Plus collection is not going to be enough. They need to kind of improve that much more. And they haven't even updated that thing. It wasn't anything that they mentioned about upgrading it, or updating it every now and then. It's just kind of like, here it is, which is great. It has a great library, but they need to do more. And I can see them doing that this year, but who knows? Maybe they're a little late to the game. I don't know.
Well, we'll just have to see, right? We'll have to see we'll see how the summer goes.
I think this summer is going to definitely show like which path Sony's in right now, especially like, once they start announcing like their state of plays and E3, we're going to see a little bit more into what they're trying to do with PlayStation 5. But again, they have to be a little bit more competitive, a little bit more aggressive when it comes to, making this Game Pass deal, or, making like some kind of Game Pass-esque service for Sony.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly think it would be really cool if they did something. This is kind of like small, but you know how like Nintendo Shop has like the old, like the Super Nintendo Shop, they have like the Nintendo where you could like play all the old games.
Yeah.
Maybe they do something like that inside the PlayStation Store where you don't have to pay for these things. They just come with your PS5. You could play all the old PlayStation 1 games if you wanted to. So that'd be kind of a cool
They probably have to, right? At this point, because I don't know if you heard.
I don't think they're going to do it, but.
I don't know if you heard, but they're closing down the PlayStation Network for PS3 and they're closing down the PSPs. Like, so they're closing a lot of games that are kind of in that ecosystem, that are in that like that wall, because there's a lot of games that are just online, and
like
people
Final
probably
Fantasy
still
Crisis
play.
Core.
Yep.
Oh well, that's online, but
I mean, but I know what you mean, and shit, like there's people that still play games there. There's some indie games that are that you can just download online. They don't have a retail version of them. So if you're closing down your infrastructure there or your servers, then you're essentially just removing a good portion. Maybe not a lot of people are playing it, but still, you're removing a lot of people that would like to play that game from doing so.
Yeah, no, they got to do something, but we'll have to see.
For sure.
Topic number 5. Speaking of Sony, has acquired Evo. Just a quote here from the Sony Interactive Entertainment blog. We're thrilled to announce the next chapter in the story of PlayStation at Evo, the world's largest and longest running fighting game tournament. Sony Interactive Entertainment has teamed up with RTS to acquire Evo through a joint venture partnership. With expertise spanning esports event management, brand and developer consulting, and gaming talent management, RTS is a new venture led by SEO Stewart. Saw and backed by investors including Global Entertainment, Sports, and Content Company Endeavor. Okay, that was a bunch of, bunch
of mumbo jumbo. Basically, Sony bought Evo.
Yeah, Sony bought Evo.
Yeah.
Evo begins this August as Evo Online, so it's going to be a live event. But obviously, with COVID and stuff like that, they're going to put it all online for everyone. It's going to take place August 6th to the 8th, and the 13th and the 15th. Free entry for North American players, as well as Europe, Asia, and Latin America. There's going to be games such as Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Mortal Kombat 11, and Guilty Gear. Stream for fans for more details to be shared in the upcoming weeks and months on evo.gg. So, this is pretty big for Sony. We were talking about Sony needs to make moves, and they bought the biggest fighting game competition there is.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. You and I aren't really the biggest like fighting game.
Smash, that's the only one.
Smash is the only one, right? But that's the
only one that matters.
That brings up another question. Like, how is that gonna, like, is Nintendo gonna play nice with Sony? I don't know if that's going to be the case. There's actually IGN received a statement from Nintendo because of this whole thing. And they said Nintendo has enjoyed engaging with fans at past Evo tournaments and wish to show organizers the best with their new adventure. We will continue to assess Evo and other opportunities as we plan for future online and offline Super Smash Bros. Tournaments activities. That to me
other opportunities is the big one. Like
That
they're
to me
saying,
just sounds like, yeah, we're done. We're not gonna,
bye.
yeah. And that was huge for Super Smash Brothers. You know, like that was probably like one of the biggest places that they a lot of Super Smash Brothers fans would kind of like join. You know, like Evil was huge for that. So this is, I don't know. So a lot of questions here, right? So I guess I'll first start off with, will Nintendo play nice with Sony? I don't think so. I think they're gonna start doing their own thing. And this is, as sad as it sounds, this is it for Super Smash Brothers and Evo.
You know what's funny is I read something on, I think it was Reddit. It was a comment on this, and it was like, instead of Super Smash Brothers, it's going to be PlayStation All Stars.
I would be down for that though. Let's go. Super Smash Brothers like does its own thing, but then PlayStation All Stars, and they announced PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2. Let's go. I would be down for that.
So
I don't know, man.
I think Nintendo or Super Smash Brothers, that community is so big, right? I honestly think they're going to start their own huge like tournament. Like,
you think Nintendo is?
Not maybe Nintendo, but like Smash in general, I think needs to have like a big tournament, just kind of how like League of Legends has, right? Like and Call of Duty and stuff, like all that kind of stuff. All the major league stuff is like, I feel like Nintendo is gonna have, or Super Smash Brothers is going to have something like that.
I feel like
it's such a big game.
It doesn't have like, there's a lot of tournaments for Smash Brothers right now,
but they're small. They're
small.
not big. Yeah.
So I can't see Nintendo investing any money in Super Smash Bros. Tournaments. Like, they, at the end of the day, they see this game as like a kid friendly, like they're not trying to be invested into that, like, you know, hardcore audience.
But this might be the push that they need to do that, because they lost this venue. Because I don't see them being like, like, we'll let Sony broadcast our Super Smash Bros. No, they're not doing that. So
they have a long history. I don't see that happening at all. My thing is, and this is my other question, was this really a smart move for Sony? Like, we were just talking about Xbox, right? And their big boy deals with big boy money for Discord, right? Like, was this on the same level for Sony? I feel like it wasn't. I feel like it was, honestly, it was great for those fighting, for like Sony fans that are into the fighting genre. Cool, I guess, right? But what does this do for anybody else? What does this do for Sony, really? Like, did they really invest appropriately for something like this? Like, is this something that you would really see yourself gaining a lot of, money back because of this?
It's a mixed answer, but I think yes and no. I mean, it really depends on how much they put into it, as far as like how they're going to utilize it, right? Like, if they use it for press and they make it into like this big thing, like, you got to watch Evo. Evo's
Are they
crazy.
though? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it could happen, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what they need to do for it to be like worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the point of it, is to make it like this big, event where like you have like people that don't even play games to know about Evo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
as far as the deal goes, I don't know, man. I feel like they could have invested on something way better, like Discord, and they could have kind of gotten the upper hand on that one. I don't know. This to me wasn't very exciting, and it's big nonetheless, right? Like, even if it doesn't do anything for me, there's a bunch of other people that are excited and they're happy that this is happening. But to me, I just feel like it was kind of wasted opportunity, or they could have invested money somewhere else that would have benefited not just one kind of specific genre, kind of more of a bigger landscape,
Yeah, like I said, we'll have to see what they do with it. They could do something great with it, but
now if they announce, All Stars, then this was fantastic move on their end.
Yeah, like that's how they introduce it. It's just like, an Evo is gonna be, this isn't, and there's one more. Do
you ever see that game come back? I feel like it could come back.
That game, I feel like, was, I don't want to know if it was ahead of its time.
No,
but
I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I just think,
I just feel like people, every time that game gets brought up,
they love it, right?
everyone I talked to, they loved that game. They loved that game. And I'm like, yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. And everyone says the same thing. The only issue was they didn't steer enough to, like, you know, they didn't copy Super Smash Brothers enough. If they would have stole a little bit more, just like a little more, it would have been fine. Balls deep. Just copy it. Just go all in.
Copy and paste.
Don't be afraid. Yeah, don't be afraid. Just do it. Everyone would not care, or you would probably get a little bit of like, you know, like of you know, people talking shit and like newsletters and stuff like that. Like, oh, you know, this game's copying Smash Brothers. Who cares? Like, it's doing the right formula.
Also, that game was not balanced at all. No. I remember there was a point where I think it was Sackman.
I fucking hate you.
Sackboy. Wait up. I don't even know what he looks like. Oh.
I'm trying to vision it right now. It's not pretty.
Oh shit. So Sackboy, he would have his level 3 ult. And it
was like fucking, it was like gummy bears and shit coming out. Okay,
it was like bubbles, and you would get turned. I don't remember, but I just remember
you turn into a bubble, and you turn into a bubble, and then he eats you. Like he jumps, and then he like grabs you and shit like that. Like you just die.
Where you basically was like a guaranteed win, right? If you got that level 3, you won. You won with Sackboy. So that was like the balance.
Meanwhile, like Raiden, his level 3, I think it was like he does some crazy slash, but you can miss.
You can miss, exactly. Yeah. So the balancing in that game was pretty off. But maybe they can come back.
But the mechanics were there, man. Like it was there. You know what I mean? Like
I love
the maps too. Like some of the levels that like how they integrated like 2 games in one. The gameplay was fun, except you know the whole system was off. That was the thing. If they did the Smash Brothers route, it would have been perfect. I think. Well, not perfect, but they would have been a lot better. You know.
Well, maybe we'll be covering it soon. Hopefully they come out with it and we'll be super hyped. So,
and if we catch that live, you're going to see me go absolutely.
Oh nuts. Yeah. We're going to catch it live. Yeah. We're going to catch it, post video of it. So lastly, is topic 6 here is there is a Ghost of Tsushima movie in the works. So does this excite you?
Maybe
it's made by the same director as John Wick, and that got me hyped because I'm like, those movies are insane. Those movies are insane. So if he can pull it, if there's a guy who gets to pull it off, it's gonna be that guy.
Yeah, I'll hold my impressions, or I'll hold what I think about it until I see something. Like maybe I feel like The Last of Us is also coming out, on HBO. They're coming out with a movie or a show.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
We have that Nathan Drake movie coming out as well, and now we have this. I think Sony's doing good things when it comes to the movie, side of things. But I have reservations for all of them, so we'll see. We'll see how they all turn out. I got to see a trailer for at least one of them to make sure.
That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see the trailer, and then I'll talk about it. But it's exciting stuff.
It's cool. I'm not excited. I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I'm intrigued. We'll see.
I'm hoping the era of like bad video game movies has come to an end. And let's get some good.
Let's get some good ones in. I'm optimistic, so we'll see.
Well, Kelvin, that wraps up this week's episode of Project Tep Gaming. We post every Friday at 12 p.m. on YouTube and on major streaming services. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe on YouTube and follow us on social media. And yeah, Kelv, any closing remarks for this episode?
No. Go play All Stars Battle Royale if you
can't. Remember, PlayStation is closing out their network.
You're right.
PS3.
That's right. Yeah, you can't. So I'm telling
can't even.
Sony's catching L's all over right now.
All right, man. I'll catch you next week.
All right, man. See ya.